Hey guys, we are going to talk about globalization today. So lesson 10 is all about globalization. Last time we talked about the United Nations and how the world is becoming more cooperative, how it's becoming more international. Right? When we say the world today is smaller than it has ever been before, we're talking about the ways that we're connected now versus the ways we were connected, say, 100 years ago. So what does all this mean? So this term globalization, you should recognize some of the words in it, right? So global means, the world, and ization is a process. So globalization is this process of how the world is connected through technology and trade. We are very connected with people all over the world, and in some ways we don't even think about. If you were to go through your closet right now and look at all the things that you own, you look at the tags. Where are these things made? You'll see that a lot of things are made in countries in Asia. For example, your shoes might be made in Vietnam. Your favorite jacket might be made in Indonesia. Your t-shirts might be made in China. But it's a lot more complicated than that. So, for example, the sewing machines that they use in these factories might be built in Japan or Korea or the United States. The dye they use to color the clothing might be made in Germany. The buttons on your shirts might be made in Taiwan or Hong Kong. The zipper is made in Japan. The spinning machines that they use to weave the cotton might be made in Great Britain. The cotton itself was probably grown in the United States. And then eventually it is all sent to China and put together, and then it is shipped back where you can buy it from Walmart or Amazon or wherever you're getting your clothes. So we are all connected through trade globally. All the things that you own are made in different parts of the world, and all of the parts, think about your car, right? So you might have an American car with parts made in Japan or parts made in Korea, okay? Communication is another way that we are connected internationally. If I get on my phone and I hop on Instagram, I might be following 5 or 10 or 15 people who don't live in the United States, and I can communicate with those people instantaneously. So we go back to 1776, we go back 200 and some years ago. It would take a long time for news to reach, say, England. A letter would have to travel 3,546 miles to get to London. And that would take, maybe a month or two. In the 1850s, they invent the telegraph, and they're able to communicate through with electricity, through wires, but that message would still take 10 hours. Okay, and a phone call in 1928 would take, a little under a second to reach its destination. However, now with Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and all these, TikToks and all these things, it's all instant. So we can communicate with folks all over the world instantaneously, okay? Culture is something else that connects us all globally, right? So America's number one export is its culture. People buy American culture by the truckload. So, for example, here, this is a poster from the Avengers, okay, Endgame. It's in Chinese, okay? So, we sell a lot of movies and music, clothes and fashion and food to other countries, right? So we have Burger King in Russia, McDonald's in Saudi Arabia, KFC in China, Starbucks in Korea, okay? So food is part of our culture, right? And think about, the last time you went out to eat with your family, you could probably, in the last maybe year, you've probably had Chinese food or Mexican food or Italian food or Japanese food, maybe even some Indian food. So the food that we eat from other countries represents the culture that we're getting from them. Right? Globalization has made this world smaller. And if you go back, 200 years ago, you would only be able to eat the stuff that was around. Okay? So culture connects us internationally as well. And finally, tourism. A lot of you have traveled outside the country, maybe to Canada or Mexico or the Caribbean or Europe, right? It's easier to travel now than it ever has been before. All you need is a passport, hop on a plane, fly somewhere. I mean, obviously, right now it's a little bit difficult, but eventually it'll all calm back down, and you'll be able to go anywhere in the world. Right? If you think about just 70 years ago, if I wanted to go to England, I would have to get on a boat. It would take several weeks to get there. Now I hop on a plane, I'm over there in 6, 7 hours. Okay, globalization's made the world smaller. It's made us able to travel more, experience culture from different places. It allows us to communicate more effectively and much quicker than we used to. And the stuff that we own comes from all sorts of different places in the world. It's all connected. Okay, we're all connected through technology and trade. So today's assignment is going to have you thinking about these things in terms of your own life. Right? In Google Classroom, you've got this assignment about how are we connected. The big thing, full, complete sentences, please. I want you to tell me, how are you connected to the rest of the world through different ways? So first of all, how are you connected through communication? How are you connected through culture, through food, through trade, and through technology? All right, think about the things in your own life that connect you to the rest of the world. Okay? So if you got any questions, feel free to email me, and I'll see you guys later.